Good day. My name is Monasha Naftali Mupa. I'm the founder and managing director of Naftali Holdings. As a learner and member of the Cyber Leadership Institute, I'm here to submit my presentation in relation to one of our clients, which is Sender. So Sender is a company that specializes in the last mile service within the logistical space and mostly concentrating on pharmaceutical companies. Now, the company itself was established in 2015 and has been operating successfully within the South African market, with a number of its competitors like Takealot, which is currently the market leader. However, there's also Dis-Chem Deliveries, which focuses on delivering medicinal products to its own clients. Okay. However, Sender specializes in delivering these pharmaceutical products to its clients and to customers. So it uses the B2B model, and there is a B2C model that it uses as well. All right. Sender also focuses on making use of mobile applications. There is an application, there's the driver side of the application, the business side of the application, and a consumer side of the application. Now, due to an increased nature and extent of the cyber crimes in South Africa, it is essential that Sender invests in cybersecurity. And we have carried out a diagnosis of the organization and what it should then do based on the threats that are at its disposal. We've seen the past decade presenting huge increases in terms of cybersecurity, both in terms of the size of the industry, as well as what it has caused harm towards a number of entities. For instance, last year in 2021, there were an average of 97 victims per hour in South Africa compared to 2001, which only had 6 victims on average per hour. All right. So the primary concern at this stage is protecting Sender stakeholders. All right. Because Sender historically has not had any investment towards cybersecurity. And due to that, if we look at the scaling of its, security awareness from the security awareness maturity model, Sender is at level 1, which means it has been non-existent. And therefore, we are planning now to move from level 1 to level 2. And we have decided to focus on a 6 months window until we reach maturity level 5, meaning that there is 2 years from this August, right, to 2024, end of July, where we plan to make sure that the organization has reached level 5 of its cybersecurity or maturity awareness. All right. Now, the fact that we want to focus on maturity level 2, we look at the minimum requirements within the South African legal framework as well as globally. And we have 5 most crucial acts that the organization has to comply with. So there's compliance with the Global Data Protection Regulation, which is of particular importance to the organization, that various users, both businesses and individuals, give their valuable information to the organization. By so doing, the organization is expected to have to comply with the data protection regulations, right? There's also Protection of Personal Information Act in South Africa. There's the Data Protection Act. There's Electronic Communication and Transmission Act, Transaction Act. There's also the Cyber Crimes Act. And all these acts require this organization sender to comply with these. And therefore, you will see later on in the presentation how we plan to make sure that the organization complies with all this. All right. Now, we see that stakeholders are of particular importance, and therefore, what we did also, or what I did, was to look at the key stakeholders, the profiling of these stakeholders, the profile description, how we manage them from a cybersecurity point of view, and how we are going to engage with these particular stakeholders. Like, for instance, we look at your shareholders as an example. Now, the shareholders have got a high level of interest and high level of power, right? And looking at the description of their profile, we need to understand that shareholders are greatest threatened with any risks aligned to cybersecurity, because if litigation comes, the company may be affected due to legal claims, and the company may actually end up folding due to the fact that there's not been any alignment or any compliance with cybersecurity laws as well as data protection laws. And therefore, there's need for constant updates to these shareholders on what the organization is doing. And in my presentation, I also speak of Mr. Sibotsiwe, who is the managing director and the founder, and currently owns 44% of the stake within the organization, right? And it is part of his board pack presentation to actually present to the board that this is what he has done as an individual as part of the supplementary budget of the organization, right? Now, moving from there, what is it that we have done? So we have proposed to the board to accept a supplementary budget through the managing director, of course. Then we have developed a budget for review in the next board meeting, right? Then the entity has hired a chief information officer, right, as part of our recommendation. Then from there, we look at what is it that has to be done next. This is the budget that we're looking at and what should be done. We look at development of policies, right? Penetration testing, investment in hot cloud backup system, a cold backup, which is an offsite system as well, and investment in a multi-factor authentication, which budget is in front of us, right? Then we look at the strategy management and reporting is to be based on 4 frameworks, which is the AIC triad, the ISO 270,001, the AIGPA cybersecurity as supplementary, but the primary one is the NIST framework. All right. And therefore, this is what we have looked at in terms of SANDA. Thank you.